Hello again, Preacher Dan here. Show you a little project that I've got going on here. I have moved into a new facility and I need a workbench. I do a little bit of woodworking, not a tremendous amount, but nonetheless, got a home and it helps so much to have a workbench. I'll show you a little mortise and tenon trick that I'm going to do. This is kind of going to be a mixture between an old style workbench and a more modernized version of it. So what I did, I took a 2x4 that I'm going to use as a shelf underneath of it. It's also going to help in stability. And I cut a 1/2 inch off of this end, 1/2 inch off the bottom, 1/2 inch off the top. Just made a series of cuts with my circular saw down here set at a 1/2 inch. And did that on top and bottom. That would leave me with 1 inch thick, 2.5 inch wide tenon going through a mortise that I've just cut into this other piece of 2x6. So that's another one of those measured 2.5 inches wide to accept the tenon. And I cut with just a series of cuts across through here. And then I took my hand plane and chisel and knocked it off until it was flush all the way across so that this would fit directly down in there. And what I plan on doing as a finished product to this leg is to have 3 of these thick, and I'll probably laminate them, gluing them together. And then after I get finished gluing them, I will set up a longer board like this one on this end, as this was just a trowel piece, and fit it through to the other end, drilling a hole and then driving a wedge through it, a very shallow angle wedge through this right here. That will draw this into the leg and make it super sturdy. And I wanted it sort of low, so the top of it is going to be 30 inches. And then I'm gonna have about 1 7/8 top to it. All right, you can see that this is the first a shelf apron that's going to be down on the lower part of the leg. But you can see the way that this is cut out. And I mean, seriously, I'm doing all this with, you know, as far as the cutting and the shaping of this, with that saw, this hand plane, and with that chisel. Of course, I've got a little thing here I made, or you can just use a hammer to help to drive the chisel. But yeah, that is that's fantastic, and it's going quite quickly. All right, well, there is one finished. All right, I'll show you what I'm doing here. I'm cutting out 1 inch up here, 5.5 inches from the end, to make something like this right here. I know I skipped a little bit, but here is the gist of the initial setup. I made this thing to where it will come apart. Now, this leg and this leg are tied together with this right here, this cross apron. And this is that mortise and tenon I was telling you about. I drilled a 1/2 inch hole from the top to the bottom, angled it just a little bit right here so that I could take a wedge and drive it in from the top side, and that pulls that tenon out this way, and it sucks this up against that nice and flush. Now, I also put another piece across the bottom because I wanted this to be the end pieces, this, and this cross piece across here. I wanted that to be one piece, because if I ever decide I want to move, I want to be able to disassemble this thing, and it would be simple to do with having this piece and then that piece over there being one piece. Notice I only put 2 screws right here. It's because there's glue back in behind there. Really, the screws are doing nothing more than just supplying clamping pressure. The glue is really doing the work. Done the same thing over here, same thing down here. Just a few screws just to apply the clamping pressure to tie it all together. These side runners here, the aprons, I've attached them with 3 carriage head bolts. They are 3/8 diameter carriage head bolts, 6 inches long, so they can reach through. Of course, I also sunk the heads in with a paddle bit first, and then I snugged these up on the backside to pull this all in. This resists racking forces fantastically, but in the event that I want to take this thing apart, all I've got to do is take these three per leg, all right? Take them out, and I think it's 3 screws here, 3 screws over here, and then all this comes apart. These pieces that have my mortise and tenon joints on them, I've got these attached with screws. They can come apart if I want them to, but I could also just knock out these wedges right here, these retaining wedges, pull the ends off of it. This piece here will be one piece. I know my shop is unorganized right now, but having a workbench in here is going to change things for me. So it will provide a work surface by which I will plan on putting shelves up and pegboard to hang my tools and make tool holders. And there's the top that's going to be going on this. I haven't yet figured out how I'm going to attach that, but whenever I do get it figured out, I'll put another video up. This is Preacher Dan signing out for now on part 1, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from it. This is sort of a modern build of an old design that you would be doing more joinery with. I'm pretty pleased with the way it's turning out, and we'll see what becomes of it. Y'all have a good one. Bye-bye.